So, you're probably wondering why I'm standing off screen right now. Well, you'll see in a second. Let me preface this by saying I want to just give my thoughts on I don't know if you could really call them a defunct team, but a team that's made some shocking moves recently. And honestly, I'm torn on it because I love it for one city, I hate it for another. But as far as why I'm standing off screen, well, I don't want anyone thinking I'm betraying my teams. We'll put it that way. But I will now stand on screen, and you'll understand why. That's right. I'm wearing a Arizona Coyotes tank. Here's why. So, obviously, I talk pretty much every day. I talk about the Vegas sports. So I go hard on the Golden Knights. They're my 1B team. The Bruins, my lifelong team, 1A. Before Vegas existed, the Coyotes and the Kings were like my number 2A, 2B teams. I didn't have a 1B team. It was Bruins or nothing. But the Coyotes, being a desert team, and Vegas not having a team yet, were 2A or 2B. The Canes being the other close team to Vegas, and being that their AHL associate, the Monarchs, played in Manchester, New Hampshire, and I went to dozens of their games over the years, were my other team. There's one thing I'd always said, especially after the Coyotes rebranded to those awful mid 2000s, early 2010s jerseys, and that's that the Coyotes Kachina jersey is the best in hockey, will always be the best in hockey, is the best at all of pro sports, and will always be the best of pro sports. Sorry, I don't know why the shadow, the sun actually makes it look like I have muscle tone there. I promise you, I don't. It's a spaghetti. It's literally a piece of spaghetti right here. Anyhow, sorry, I'll stop admiring myself. Anyhow, so that being said, one of my best friends in the world got this from me as a very early, like 6.5 month early birthday gift from me, not knowing how long these bad boys will be in stock. And I freaking love it. Like I said, I have always loved this jersey. And I was so happy when the Coyotes mercifully brought it back. So, obviously, I'm not thrilled about them relocating. I do love Salt Lake. Beautiful area. I'm glad Salt Lake City is getting a team. Obviously, I wish it wasn't like this under these circumstances. I am glad to know that the Coyotes, Arizona Coyotes, Phoenix Coyotes, whatever they'll end up being, probably Arizona still, are gonna exist in the future. At least tentatively, that is the plan, it sounds like. I know a lot of people have the concern of, oh, it's the same ownership. It's their ownership that got them into this situation more than like the city or the fan base. Agreed. That being said, I think this is going to be a wake-up call for the owner. Like, this has to be. Hopefully, he'll actually pay bills. I imagine so. If he's going to go in and buy this plot of land and go all in, like, it sucks that I feel bad for the fan base that, they finally had a future to look forward to. I think with their current team, they have a lot of good young talent. And it's all going to get washed away just for them to get an expansion team, like, say, 5 years from now. And I know expansion teams aren't what they were back in, like, the 60s, 80s, even the 90s, really. Obviously, we've seen that with our beloved Golden Knights. Can't even see that on screen. With our beloved Golden Knights, who took Game 1 last night in Dallas. I think they were the only home team to lose Game 1. Was Dallas. So, go Knights, go. As far as what Utah's going to be, since obviously they're going to be rebranding, the name I like the most is the Yetis. I know it's the most popular one. It's all those things where 4 or 5 years ago I would have said there's no way they're going to be called that, but Seattle went with the Kraken, so you never know. That being said, obviously Salt Lake's is generally speaking, a more conservative city than Seattle. I don't know how much that's going to influence the name. I hope it makes sense. Honestly, at this point, I really just wish the Utah Jazz would rebrand too, since the Jazz make no sense. I think like if you went with the Utah Yeti for hockey, that'd be awesome, and then rebrand the basketball team to be like the Stainers, the Swarm, something like that. I've seen the Pioneers get floated. That'd be cool. Maybe you actually kind of could join them, have one team be the Swarm and one be the Stingers, since they're same ownership, you play in the same building, something like that. So there's some sort of a unity. That would be cool. I've seen the Scorpions get mentioned. One of the names that got thrown out there was the Miners, because their mining history. But I believe it's the hockey guy mentioned. It's twice a year you would get the Predators versus Miners. I know, very different meaning than that, but that sounds really bad. We can all agree that sounds horrible. So my personal vote would be Yeti, unless they did the rebranding with the Utah Jazz, and I'd love to see the unified Stingers and Swarm. I think it would be cool. Those would play more into like the Utah's history. Also, some of the names you kind of gotta keep in mind. They could go with the name if they go if they don't go with Utah, they go with Salt Lake City. I think it'll be Salt Lake, not Salt Lake City. I think that's too much right there. Boom, boom, boom. Salt Lake City plus a name. Because I mean, like you got the New York, New Jersey, Los Angeles, not even Las Vegas because they went the two words in the team or the team name, the Golden Knights, obviously. So you went Salt Lake City. That's too much, no matter what you call your team at that point. So with that alone, I think he'll end up being Utah. Those are just my thoughts. Obviously, color scheme. I've seen some different one. Months ago, Post to Post did one like 9 or 10 months ago about a few future jersey or like jersey concepts for a future Utah team, which we now know that future Utah team is going to happen. And there were some cool ones. Again, the Stingers and Swarm were mentioned a lot. The Yeti was cool because it was kind of there's going to be some correlation branding wise. It might get a little murky with your neighbors in Colorado with the Avalanche. Not as much as like the proposed name of the Blizzard. That and the Avalanche, especially being right next to each other and in the same division, be too much. And I think the colors would have to match too much. But even the Yeti, some of the brand I've seen has been very similar, we'll say, to the Avs. So who knows? The Scorpion would be cool, but I don't know. If it was Southern Utah, yes, where it's more desert. But you gotta remember, Salt Lake City's in more of a like wooded, forested mountain area. Yeah, I like the Yeti personally. Love it. I still think the Stainers of the Swarm make the most sense, but those are just my thoughts. Coloring, a lot of people have gone with like a light blue and yellow because I believe it's the state flag. The Yeti one has drawn in purple as one of the colors. That again, when you purple and blue combo, kind of a little close to the Avs, but again, different tones. Who knows? It'll be cool to see. The funny part is, I know Adidas, or not Adidas, Fanatics, I've heard pretty much ask the team, like, all the teams, like, please, like, no major rebrands. I know it's presumed, since I got Boston right here, that they'll go back to this traditional jersey after this year, since obviously they had the special ones this year for the centennial anniversary. But yeah, Fanatics asking the teams no major rebrands, and you have a team or like no like major tweaks to the jersey. Now you got a team that's got to literally rebrand entirely. Nice. Yeah, those are my thoughts. Feel bad for Coyotes fans. I'm glad to know there's at least a tentative plan for them to exist in the future. Salt Lake City, I'm thrilled for them. It seems like they got a good ownership group, so I'm curious to see what the fan base, how they split. Like, how many of them are gonna just go and follow Utah's new team permanently? That'll be their team, follow the franchise. how many of them will kind of like follow them? Some may even drift to like Vegas, Colorado, LA, Anaheim. Maybe some might just stay loyal and wait for this to return. Some may tentatively follow one of the above listed teams until this returns. But it's going to be interesting, that's for sure. But hey, at least we now know. Oh, that's the other thing. Expansion. Since we know it's going to happen in probably about 5 years from now when the ownership group acquires that land that they're looking at, who's going to get the 34th team? Is it going to be Atlanta? God, I hope not. Is it going to be Houston? Yeah, I really hope not. It's going to be Quebec City, which should be. Maybe the Toronto area gets a second team, preferably branded as Brain Hamilton back in. It's like the Hamilton Tigers back in. That would be cool. Because, we need another black and yellow team. Who knows? Maybe they'd go black and orange. I would like them to go black and orange like Tigers actually are. And then, even though you have obviously multiple teams with the same colors, especially when they're in a different conference, maybe that would promote, push Anaheim to be like, we don't really want to have the same as anyone else and bring back the plum and tealish green everyone wants. Yeah, some other cities have been floated out. I've heard Cincinnati, Kansas City, Omaha. That would be a cool one. I would actually kind of like that. Give Omaha a team. I think your obvious rivals at that point out the gate would be Colorado and Winnipeg. Sure, why not? That is such an open waste of land where there's no sports there. So I'd be cool to see that. Yeah, I don't. People always try to push for Hartford. I don't see that happening. Especially as you wouldn't get the Whaler name back, and you're close enough to New York, which the New York metro area essentially has 3 teams, as the Devils count as that area. Plus, you're not far from Boston. No, don't need more. Hartford. I know there's a push for Hartford to get a pro sports team at some point. I think it would have to be basketball or baseball, really. But who the hell cares? Hey, they got baseball. They got the minor league. I think it's AAA. Nah, it might be low. I don't know. They got the Yard Goats, which is the coolest name. Anyhow, I'm going to shut up now. I'm going off the deep end about sports, names, branding, relocation, expansion, all that good stuff. I'm just constantly doing this because I don't know what else. Ricky Bobby, I don't know what to do with my hands. So anyhow, that's that. Those are my thoughts about the Arizona Coyotes, the Utah no names, we'll call them right now. So yeah. Comment, subscribe. Comment down below what you want the Utah name to be. And if you're a fan of these guys, what is your plan going forward as far as who your alliance is going to be towards? So yeah, see you down in the comments below. Kill the like button. Make sure to hit subscribe. Talk to you later.